All right, so let's go ahead and let's get into this next game. The San Antonio Spurs visiting the Memphis Grizzlies, set for 8 p.m. Tuesday night. Line opened up at over under 215. Memphis getting 2.5. The line has since moved. Over under still at 215, but Memphis is now getting 3.5 points. So let's go ahead and take a little deeper dive into this game. As far as injury reports concerned, for San Antonio, it's the usual suspects out. Vassell's out, Bessie's out, Sokin's out, Barlow's out, Keldon Johnson's out, and Osman's out. All right, and for Memphis, laundry list. Okay, like everybody, Kennard's out, Jaron Jackson Jr.'s out, Desmond Bane's out. And everybody else that we already do. So, yeah, we already know what's going on in this game. Memphis is really trying to tank, and to be honest with you, their coach and their players are making it hard for them to tank, man. I mean, they, regardless of the fact that this team hasn't won a lot of games, they do a lot of fighting and they cover a lot of games, man. But let's go ahead and let's get a little bit deeper into this matchup right now. Okay, when you're talking about these two teams, you're talking about San Antonio Spurs that have cooled off a bit recently as they've lost 3 of their last 4 games, and they'll be hoping to bounce back after falling short. Just a little short, though, and that 76ers heartbreak, 133 to 126, double overtime loss on Sunday. All right. Then when you're looking at the Memphis Grizzlies, the Memphis Grizzlies were on a 3-game win streak before they got it stopped in their tracks by the 76ers in 116 to 96 home loss on Saturday. So both of these teams just lost to the same team, man. 76ers just came in and did what the 76ers were supposed to do, given the fact 76ers are a playoff team. All right, both of these teams are tanking. But if San Antonio loses one more game, or they'll tie the record, I guess, for the most losses in Spurs history. And if they lose 2 more games, then they will have the record for most losses in San Antonio Spurs history. And I just don't think Pop wants that right now, man. I really don't. But let's go ahead and let's look at these two teams head to head. In the head to head, Memphis owns them 10-0 straight up. I believe they beat them 13 straight times. All right. Now, against the spread, though, Spurs are 6-4 against the spread in the last 10. Okay. In the last 3 times, these teams have played 3 times this season, and Memphis did cover 2 of them, except for when Memphis was giving up the 11 points, which how could Memphis give anybody 11 points? But, they didn't cover that one. But they did cover the last 2. All right, both of them were in San Antonio. Yeah, this is just not a good game, period. All right, these teams are 5-5 over under against each other in the last 10. When you're looking against the spread as an away favorite, okay, San Antonio is 1-0. All right, against the spread, and Memphis as a home underdog is 13-15. So when the odds makers say what they say, man, you might want to listen to them. Okay, as far as over under is concerned, away favorite, San Antonio's 0 to the over, 1 to the under. So on the one game they were favored on the road, that game went under. Okay, and as a home underdog, Memphis is 9 to the over, 18 to the under with 1 push. So pay attention to the trends, guys. I mean, I tell you the information so that you'll be able to knowledgeably make a decision if you are choosing to bet responsibly. But pay attention to the trends, guys. All right, I don't just tell them to you to just tell them to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually trying to share this information with you for a reason or a purpose. So in the last 10 games San Antonio's played, they're 4-6 straight up, 7-3 against the spread, and 6 to the over, 4 to the under. They played 2 straight overs. They didn't cover their last game, of course. It was against Philly, and that was a double overtime loss, heartbreaking type thing. All right. However, they did cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row prior to that. And I'm talking that was against Phoenix, the Knicks, Golden State, Denver, New Orleans. Like these guys have been playing a lot better ball, man. Whereas when you're looking at Memphis in their last 10, they're 4-6, they're 5-5 against the spread, and they're 5 to the over, 5 to the under. All right. In the last 3 games that these teams have played out here, San Antonio's averaging 114 points per game, giving up 117.3 points per game, whereas Memphis is averaging 105 points per game, giving up 102.3 points per game. Remember, Memphis did that in their last three against Philly, Detroit, and Milwaukee, and San Antonio in their last three against Philly, New Orleans, and Denver. So, yeah, you got to understand who's been playing the stronger schedule. San Antonio's definitely been playing the stronger schedule. Memphis is definitely in tank mode right now. I mean, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and just give it to you guys. All right. The Spurs have lost each of their last 12 road games after coming off overtime. All right. The Spurs have covered the spread in 9 of their last 10 road games against Western Conference opponents following a loss, and 7 of the Spurs' last 8 games against Southwestern Division opponents have gone under the total points line. All right, and then when you're looking at Memphis, the Grizzlies have won each of their last 14 games against the Spurs. The Grizzlies have covered the spread in each of their last 6 games as underdogs against the Southwestern Division opponents, and 7 of the Grizzlies' last 8 games as home underdogs against opponents who are on the first leg of a back-to-back have gone under the total points line. So, what's my lean for this game? Well, the line has moved up. All right, it was at 1.5 or 2.5, and it's gone all the way up to 4.5. Spurs minus 4.5. So Vegas is telling you the Spurs. I'm not taking them unless I'm taking a money line. If I'm taking points, I'm taking the Grizzlies. Just because of the fact this is 13 games in a row. I understand the Grizzlies are trying to tank and not trying to win, but at the same time, Spurs aren't really trying to win too. They just don't want to have the worst record in Spurs history. So, that's why I'm saying Spurs money line. Grizz with the points. I would have to lean towards the under. The Grizzlies have been struggling to score. They've really been struggling. So I might actually even get to the window on that under. I think that 216.5 just might be a little too high. All right, even though it has gone up, it was at 215 at one point. I think 216.5 might be a little too high. I might just put a couple of points on that. Buy some juice for it. But y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments.